Hello everyone, and welcome back to Modelling Misfit. Today is just a small one. I'm currently working on my biggest project yet, so while I'm waiting for that, I just wanted to get something else out for you guys. This is one I've been wanting to do for a little while. As a patriotic Brit, the Spitfire is a plane I absolutely adore, and I must say I was really happy with the quality of this Tamiya model. Very good detail, and just much easier on the eyes than a lot of the Spitfires I've built before. After getting the pilot painted up, I smothered the cockpit in its typical green. Placing the pilot in his seat and the two halves of the plane together. I mean, in all honesty, there's not too much to talk about when putting these models together. They're both very simple, and I'm sure anyone who's even dipped their toes into this hobby has gotten at least one of these as a starter kit, so you'll know the process. Onto the BF109, and as someone who grew up basically exclusively using Revel kits, seeing the contrast in quality after building these two in the same night was just night and day. For painting, I started by covering the Spitfire in dark green, and while waiting for that to dry, I put the base coat onto the BF109. I then tried to go for the green and bluish Spitfire camo, but it's kinda hard to see the difference on camera, and in person it was basically nothing, so I ended up going back over it with brown. Then for the BF109, going over the wingtips and the engine for the best paint scheme. Painting the camo. And giving the Spitfire its creamy belly. I loved the quality of these decals. Though it was at this point I realised I hadn't put down the white circle for the contrast. That's better. Now adding the battle damage to the BF109 with my trusty Dremel. Because the Spitfire would be behind it, coming in at an angle. Including the wingtip being torn off. Using my scalpel to take off some of the edges, making it look more authentic. Painting all the exposed metal a nice grey colour. Now using these two metal rods that I found, taping them together for the mounting. Figuring out where on the model I want to put it. And doing the same for the Spitfire. In trying to push them into the holes, I end up pushing too hard, stabbing myself and breaking the rear window. Shit. Nothing a little glue can't fix though. Now, after giving the BF109 a matte varnish and the Spitfire a gloss varnish, to give it a more glorious shine to it, I broke out an acrylic sheet and painted it black. After doing so, I lined up the BF109 to where I wanted it to be and basically drowned it in superglue. Then to make the clouds, I tear up little pieces of cotton wool and using my hot glue gun to stick them down, covering the area. Once that's done, I apply very light wispy bits of cotton wool to the sticks for a smoke plume effect, and then I take it off and spray paint it black. Now to secure it to the Spitfire, and then to the base, in which I forgot to check the shot, being the cinematologist that I am. I then apply some extra smoke around the Spitfire, making him fly through the trails of his latest kill. And with that, I called it good.
The gratitude of every home in our island, in our empire, and indeed throughout the world, except in the abodes of the guilty, goes out to the British airmen who, undaunted by odds, unwearied in their constant challenge and mortal danger, are turning the tide of the world war by their prowess and by their devotion. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.